Welcome to the RTV studio on the campus of Martinsville High School for another edition of Inside Martinsville Football. I'm your host, Nate Long, and I'm joined alongside by Coach Duggar. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing great. It's always good to come on the show after a win.
Yeah, talking about that win, 25-24 over Decatur, and that ending was something special.
Yeah, it was a fun night. You know, it was nice to see us play the way we're capable of playing, offense and defensively. I was really proud of how we kept coming back and fighting, getting down, fight right back, get down, fight right back. I think that was kind of the theme of the night, really. Obviously, anytime you get a 2-point conversion and take the lead with a few minutes to go in the game, and then block not one but 2 field goals at the end, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, talking about that offense, Braden Strake, 191 yards on the ground. A big game for him.
Yeah, I think he had 41 or 43 carries. I can't remember, getting it confused with the Bedford game. But obviously, Braden's our workhorse. Everyone knows that. Things are better for us when we're moving the ball with him, not making mistakes on our end. He's a special back, and he's someone that we want to try to give the ball to as much as we can.
Yeah, and talking about also defense played great. 5 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles.
Great job by Coach Taylor and the rest of the defense staff, and honestly our kids. Guys like Logan Poppy and Trey Bernard. Our secondary had a rough few first games, and I felt like a lot of them were trying to do things that they didn't need to do. They were trying to help out other guys and help out in different areas and zones, and really just not doing their job. And kind of really got to him this week. Coach Taylor did about playing in their area, playing from depth, and it's amazing what happens when you're in the right spots. And anytime you pick off a quarterback like Polson 3 times, that's a big deal. He's really good, and we were in the right spots, and we made the plays we needed to play.
Yeah, now we're going to look at those highlights, courtesy of Carva and Vandeventer.
It was good to see. Decatur's a really good team, and our defense flying around this week, like you talked about, and just making some good plays. Again, we had guys in the right spots. There's Keene in the right spot. Ball pops right to Ben. Receiver didn't want to take the hit from Keene. It's just amazing what happens when guys do their job and they're in the right spots. We get to show how good of a defense we really are. Big kick here by Chuck gets us 3 points on the board. One thing we talked about with the offense at halftime is we have to do a better job of getting points off of turnovers to only get 3 points. And here's another pick by Brandon, but to not get any points off this, but only get 3 off the first one, we got to be better than that and just kind of capitalize on what our defense is doing. Here's another one of those turnovers. Ben Field coming down, laying a big hit on one of their really big backs. I mean, that kid, 2-way starter. He's a stud, just a really good football player. And for Ben to make that hit right there and cause a fumble was kind of a big play in the whole process. But, we made big plays, throughout the game. And here's a 3rd down, big throw and catch there by AJ and Jace. Like we said, everything was kind of going through Braden, but it's nice to have those big plays that capitalize that. We had a lot of those types of runs there from Braden, our offensive line, but we also had some of these that were just timely there. And Mason Dotson with a really big catch there, and he's been such a huge asset for us out wide, and it's just been really big. I thought this was a really big play in the game, and what I thought was, in Decatur, they're physical, they're intimidating the way they play, and a big hit like that, Josh's helmet comes off, and he kind of pops right back up like nothing happened, and kind of, lack of a better way of saying it, but to tell Decatur, hey, we're here, we're not going anywhere, we're not backing down. I thought that was a really big play in the game, and then to finish that off with a little punch in there, I thought we were making a statement that we were here to play. And we were going to make this a game till the end. Again, flying around, guys in the right spots, having to take the check downs, rally up, make tackles. Really, really proud of how our defense played. Coach Taylor and those guys. And there's Logan Poppy right there at the right time. That's another one that should have been picked. But a lot of these are defense, right? You kind of keep going back and forth, and you just kind of see what's happening there. Lucas Dewey with another really big play, sack there to start the half. Dewey, this is one of the more impressive plays I've seen outside linebacker make in a while to get to his gap, squeeze it afterwards, and make a play on a really good quarterback. That kid's got multiple Division I offers. He's pretty good. Levi Ruhr, sophomore, getting in there, big sack there. And this was kind of a big play needed in the run game. We've been kind of pounded for 6-7 yards, and this was the one we needed, and kind of really flipped the field quickly, and kind of kept the clock on our side, you know what I mean, as far as the game was going. Again, big run here. We matched them every time they would put something on the board, make a play. I felt like we turned around and matched it right back. And then nice little RPO action here to find Josh Jones in the end zone. A little sneak route in the backside. We made plays when we needed to, and that was a big part of it. And it's good to see Josh make some plays because he was so tremendous in the run game for us that we really needed that. Again, Logan Poppy, right spot. Look, there's Logan and Trey both right there, and they're right there on top of that deep pass. Again, guys just doing what they're supposed to, and it makes them look like they're really special players, and they are when they're in the right spots. This was, again, capitalized. I think we had just had a turnover, and for the next play, they fumble a snap, and we're right there on it. Those are the types of things where, you win big games that way. Another big catch here by Mason Dotson. Just overall, just tremendous player. Grows up, gets it with two guys there, takes a big hit on the ground, and obviously a little sore getting up there, but he's just a tough kid, and we're glad he's on our side. By Shrake to get us down to the 1 yard line, and this sets up a 4th down, punching it in there. And making sure we're we're down 1 now, and kind of decision time. This point in the game with 2 minutes, we really liked our 2-point plays. We practice them all the time, and we felt like this was a good 2-point play to go against Decatur, that we could be successful on it. And at the time of the game, there's 2 minutes to go in the game, still 3 timeouts, onside kicks possibilities. We really felt like going for 2 was the right decision there. And I really, really wish that Keem would have picked that off, so he wouldn't have had all the stress, and that would have been the game. But that's part of it. Big play here. Again, Ben, Keem, gang tackle in there. But again, you line up here. We do a good job. Coming after, putting pressure on it. Trey comes off the edge, gets a piece of it, and celebration begins. Maybe a little too soon because the ball was still alive. Luckily, Brandon Kent kept playing heads-up football and made the tackle. But other than that, you kind of see the fun that we got to have on the celebration. You were there. You saw it.
I was there, yeah. But, that game is in the past, though, now.
Yeah.
It's Franklin time. Ho-Ho. Mm-hmm. Franklin is 3-1, 2-0 in conference. Overtime win against Perry, 26-20.
Yeah.
Then a Whiteland win, very good win for them, 22-21. And, we'll talk a little bit about their team as a whole, really, this year.
Well, like I told our kids after the game, beating Decatur is awesome. It's a great accomplishment, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean much. It's a great win for that week, but Franklin doesn't care that we just beat Decatur. They're coming here on a mission. They want to ruin our homecoming. They want to come here and play the way they're capable of playing. And the thing about Franklin is they're just solid. They don't do anything great. They don't do anything bad. They're just a solid football team. They're good across the board. There's not a weakness there. They are just really well coached. Coach Cole does a great job. I think they're up there as top of, as far as their conference goes, one of the best, if not well coached teams in our conference. They're very sound. They're very physical. I think they're a really good team, and that's a kind of credit to them. They're winning close games. An overtime game with Perry, a 1-point score against a really good Whiteland team. So a lot of things that I think they're really good at, and we've got to be prepared for.
Yeah, talking about Franklin's offense, though, kind of a 2-quarterback system going on. They do have a main, their starter, who's been there for a few years, but. Talk a little about that, how that 2-quarterback system kind of works.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I've never really been a part of a 2-quarterback offense, but they're both solid kids. One of them I think is a little bit better runner. I think one's a little bit better thrower. But I think they both bring the same thing to the table, and that's good football. So obviously they want to get the ball. Their running back's really solid. Coach Cole's teams are always known for inside zone, outside zone. That's what they do. And they'll have their H back. They'll be in a lot of 11 personnel, and they'll just try and run the ball consistently, and they'll get their quarterbacks in the run game, and we just got to make sure we're gap sound and doing our jobs.
And another thing about that offense, Luger's 28, their running back. He's a pretty good.
Yeah,
player.
he's a tough-nosed kid. He runs hard. Very reminds me of Braden Shrake a lot, our running back. They're very similar. I think he reminds me a lot of Braden as a junior. You know, Braden got a little bit bigger this offseason, a couple of things. But he reminds me a lot of Braden as a junior, and I think he's really, really solid, runs hard, good vision. I think he's just kind of a natural running back in their offense.
And then switching sides of the ball, go more defense, you know. I think they're listed as a 3-4, but they do walk that guy up more like a 4-3 look.
Yeah, they list themselves as a 3-4, but we've kind of looked at it more as a 4-3, kind of how we're going to approach things, because there's always 4 guys down. Now they do show some fronts that are kind of like a 3-4. Yeah. They do some good things. They got a guy up front that's real solid, the Smythe, whatever you say his name. One of their linebackers at number 5, I think he's one of the better linebackers we've seen this year. Real physical, real downhill. He's a kid that I think is going to be, can be a problem if we don't do our job up front. A couple of their DBs, I think 17 and 10 are solid football players. They're very active in the run game, very active flying around. We're just going to have to do a good job, and we're really going to have to out-physical them in this game.
And talking about the linebacker number 5, I think he's your only returning guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is week 5, so that's kind of out of the window. But he is the only guy.
Yeah. So based off what we saw from last year's starters, he is the only returning starter. But like I told you guys on Monday in the scouting report, that doesn't really mean much now. We're week 5. These guys are now. You played 4 games. You're a veteran player now. You kind of got your feet wet. You're ready to go. So they're solid. I think they're. I don't think they're as talented defensively as they were last year. I think the Bo Baker kid was, my opinion, was the best player in our conference last year. Just unbelievable football player. But number 10, he's stepping up in that spot, and he's doing a really good job. I think he gives them some of the same things that Bo does, maybe not just as impactful as Bo was. But overall, I think they're a really good defensive team, and overall, I think they're a really good team to begin with.
So what would you say would be the keys to the game for the offense?
Offensively, I think we're going to have to play physical. We've shown that we can do that multiple times this year, and it comes back to the same thing we talked about since the Greenwood game. We can't beat ourselves. Martinsville can't beat Martinsville. We've got to take care of the football. We can't have penalties. We got to know what we're doing. We got to execute it. And if we do those things, I really like our chances to be successful on the offensive side of the ball.
And then on the defense side, what do you think the defense has to do?
Do your job. Do your job. You saw what happened against Decatur when we're not trying to do other people's jobs or make up for their mistakes and do our job. When you get 11 guys on the same page, it's pretty impressive stuff. Obviously, we're going to have to be gap sound with our zone stuff, and we're going to have to, cause turnovers again. It changes the game whenever we can put the ball back in our offense's hands.
Okay. Good luck tomorrow, Coach.
Hey, you too.
Yeah, the game tomorrow does start at 7 p.m. at Siderewicz Field. It's homecoming, so if you get a chance to come and see the show. If you can't make it, though, MHS Rewind has you covered. Eric Burns and Braxton Dilly have the call starting at 6:50 on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel and IHSAA TV. Big thanks to Bo Dilly and Mr. Meyer back there producing the show. And as always, big thanks to Coach Duggar for coming on with us. For all those people, I'm Nate Long. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time inside Martinsville Football.